when you want to create a product, don't wait for it to be perfect. Just let it be as functional as it can be, as skeletal as it can be. Show it to the client. If they feel that there's a need for it, then they will subscribe. So that's what happened to us.
Investing for me is never the lottery. It's never something that lagay ko dyan, hoping, wishing that it will go up. It's something that you think of methodically. It's something that you think of strategically. But at the end of the day, what will make you sleep well at night is yung perang linagay mo dun is something that is an excess. We have Stefanie Uy back in the vlog. In the previous video, she talked about her insights on the real estate market, what's going to happen, the outlook, how are you supposed to go if you have your own property, will it crash? For this video naman, I want us to learn more about her story. Paano siya nagsimula to where she is right now na sobrang yaman niya, guys. As in, super yaman. Okay, so you are into real estate and then you are also into tech. Before all of that, where did you start? Rich family, middle class family, poor family? What's your background?
I came from a middle class family, but I guess what's interesting is our family actually lost our business before during the 1997 Asian financial crisis.
What was your business and why did it close down?
It was my dad's business. It was a bookstore. I was still a child back then, so I don't know much of the technical details. But I just kind of pieced it together later on as I got a bit older because I was trying to think, why did that happen? So that's when I realized that the interest rates were really, really high at the time. So a lot of businesses, not just ours, went down during that time. I don't think the 1997 crisis is the same as it is now.
And even naman if it's the same, you have so much cash, so you will be okay. Pero when
Yan ka na naman.
when your family's business closed down, what happened to you? Did you stop school? How kumakain naman kayo on a daily basis? How did it impact your family?
I really did not feel it as much because my mom and dad did what they could to keep us afloat. We lost the business and we lost one of our houses, but at the time we had two. So, meron pang bahay.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who will have businesses that will close down because of this. And to hear stories of that na nakabangon, they might get hope na okay lang kahit magsara to, it's not the end yet. Pero saan sila kumuha ng income at that time?
Shortly after that, my mom had to leave for the US to look for work. So parang naging OFW yung mom ko. But at the same time, the impact for me as a person is that it really toughened me up. If ever families go through hard times, and I know that's a really hard thing for parents, I'm sure it really will, squeeze their hearts to see their kids going through a rough patch because of them. But at the same time, always remember that your kids will come out stronger with the more adversities there are.
Pero the difference between now and 2000 and 1997 is people can't go abroad to work kasi wala. That's the difference.
Wala rin.
That's the difference between the crash before and the crash now is this is something that's new. This is something that's global. This is something that even if you go somewhere else, everyone is on lockdown. Also, the whole economy, the whole world is affected. Also, okay, so your mom was abroad, and then how did things turn around? Ikaw na nagpa-turn around when you started doing your business. How did you go from the time na nawala lahat to where you are right now? What was the turning point in your family's finances?
I think the important thing is na kahit nawala yung business, there are 4 of us. I'm the youngest. So all of us were able to finish school. All of us have good jobs and businesses now. So hindi rin siya, hindi mo ikamamatay if your business goes down. You will still continue. You can still find ways. As long as you're eating, as long as you have food, you have shelter, you have the basic necessities. And I think you can really still recover from that.
Did they have a level of savings? Karen, may buffer that you said that everything was normal? Or the savings was not as much pero you were able to get cash flow?
I was very young at the time, Sir Marbs. Elementary pa ako noon. So, hindi ko masyadong alam yung detalye.
Okay lang yun. Hindi pa nga pinapanganak nun eh. Pero anyways, so knowing that, ngayon, you are now, is it okay to disclose your age? You are now how old today?
I am now 32.
Okay, at 32 years old, having that experience, ano natutunan mo? Did that help you save more? How did you prepare for this crisis? Did you shore up on cash? How did you build your emergency fund also?
It made me more aware how things can go financially during a recession. So even before pa, kahit wala pang recession, I would always make it a point to save. I would always make it a point to save. I would always make it a point to try invest in the stock market. Kahit konti-konti lang. I mean, hindi naman ako mayaman. Ano ka ba, Sir Marvin? Pero, we are... Pero yung mga ganong kind of practices, you save, you invest. I also have a few real estate investments as well. But siguro one thing that I was really thinking of is may tatlong businesses ako ngayon. And out of all three, I did not go on a business loan. So, siguro there's a part of me na takot pa muna mag-business loan because of what happened to us before. And the thing is, that worked to my advantage right now kasi wala akong problema in having to pay off my business loan right now. So, for the businesses that I set up, 2 of them were parang bootstrapped. Like, I didn't even have to shell out so much money to make that business happen. So, it was only one na medyo may capital siya. But at the same time, yung capital na binigay ko doon was money that I knew I could let go of.
The business of your parents before, they were in debt also. Parang they took out loans for it as well.
Yeah. Kasi yun yung nangyari kaya the business went down because the interest rates were too high and they couldn't pay off the amortization anymore.
You said something very, very well. Kasi kahit ako, that's why matapang ako sa stock market is because I only put an amount of money that even if it goes to zero, I'm okay. People always say the stock market is risky. What they don't know is the stock market, when you invest in the stock market, your money will never go to zero. It will never go to zero. Especially if you just buy one stock, pwedeng bumaba yan, but it will never go to zero. You invest in a startup, takbuhin lang ng founder, pero wala na, your money zero, or magkamali lang sila ng move, or competition is just too big. The startup will close down also. Pero sa akin, the reason why matapang ako is because whatever I put there, tanggap ko na at the back of my head, zero to. If it earns money, bonus. If it takes a long time before it goes up, bonus pa rin yun. Kasi it's always excess money. The investing for me is never the lottery. It's never something that lagay ko dyan hoping, wishing that it will go up. It's something that you think of methodically. It's something that you think of strategically. But at the end of the day, what will make you sleep well at night is yung perang linagay mo dun is something that is an excess. Let's talk about those businesses. Paano nag-start yun? And the reason why I'm asking this also because there will be some people right now, they might need to pivot. They might need to find new ways on how they can earn. Let's go through the process on how you stumbled upon those businesses. Okay, business number 1.
So business number 1 is a realty firm called Truly Wealthy Realty. So it's been around for 8 years now. So we established it with our co-founders. I have members in the team lang. Hindi lang yan sa akin ha. So I have co-founders. We established it like a year after I became a real estate broker. And the good thing about a realty firm is you can put it up with very little money. So at the time, I didn't have money. I was 24 years old, but yung course ko kasi is nursing eh. Nursing. So I decided that...
Sobrang in-demand yun ngayon. Sila yung industry ngayon. Ba't ka natawa doon? Dahil Filipinos are nurses?
No, hindi. Hindi ako natuwa in the sense na about the nursing profession, but more of me being a nurse. It's so far away from what I'm doing right now. So parang naalala ko lang na natuwa ako na nurse pala ako. Ano?
Okay, what led you into that? Being a nurse, ang layo nun.
Ang layo nga eh.
What led you into real estate? And siguro, second question on top of that also is, for those that want to enter this industry also, what's your advice for them?
So, it started with reading books. Yun. Because the reason why I got into nursing was because at the time when I was entering college, there was the nursing boom. I'm sure everyone remembers that. So, ayun, napasok ako sa nursing profession. But it was only afterwards when I started working when I realized na this profession doesn't seem like it's for me. Because I was, I was the kind of nurse that was looking at the clock and waiting for the day to end. So, I don't want my life to be like that. I have a lot of respect for nurses. They have such a tough job. They are doing so well. But it just wasn't for me. So at the time, I was also reading books. I was reading the usual Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So it kind of opened up my mind to investing in general. And I think things just unfolded for me. I joined a real estate seminar in Manila. So again, I'm from Iligan City, Cagayan de Oro. So I flew to Manila with a friend, and it just snowballed from there.
You just jumped into real estate, or how did it go?
So the transition for me was actually online work. So when I decided that I wouldn't work as a nurse anymore, so there was a lot of, midlife crisis going on, quarter life crisis.
24,
Quarter life crisis.
Okay.
Oo, at the time. Pero in the end, you realize na hindi talaga yan siya for you. So what I did was I started looking for online work. I was an article writer back then. I earned a decent, 30K per month. And then I started to do real estate on the side. So eventually, I was able to stop doing my online work when my real estate started to provide for me. So it was also a transition. Hindi rin siya na bigla-biglaan lang, I'll just go into real estate and do nothing else, because you probably also won't be able to feed yourself if you do that, right? So it's okay to start it from this side. If you still have another job, keep your other job until your real estate profession can consistently pay for your living expenses.
What do you advise people who want to enter this industry also? Hindi naman sa magiging kalaban mo sila, pero can you give them some advice also for those that want to at least venture into this?
You can start off as a real estate salesperson. So this was something that I did not do. I went directly to being a broker. We went directly into creating our own firm. But I realized how important it is for you to ally yourself with good mentors. So maghanap ka ng person who is willing to teach you the ropes in the real estate industry, because you will grow faster with that.
Before I go to the question about your second business, is your mom still in the States or bumalik na siya dito?
She's still there.
Hindi ba siya na nalungkot na kaya kita pinag-nurse para susunod ka dito sa States? May nangyari bang ganung mga scenes no that a lot of parents will want children to go to this college so that they can take this job later on also?
Yes, of course. So definitely may ganon, right? So when I started to express my parang non-desire for the profession, of course my parents were like, well, especially my mom, they were like, are you sure? Like, why? The reason why we put you to school so you can come here to the US, have a good future, the usual. So also my siblings as well. And when I started with real estate, they just thought it was parang racket. That was the term that they used. O, kumusta yung racket mo dyan? But later on, as the years passed by, and then they saw me making a good profit naman, so they could also see that I really belonged in the profession. So parang the entrepreneurial side of me, they could see that. So eventually, they became okay with it.
Second business, what is it? Did you do it sabay ng real estate, or did you do it when the real estate business was doing better already?
Ito yung the crazy thing. It became sabay with the startup, the technology company. So the second business is actually a co-working space, although right now it's a workspace cafe. So the reason I already got married at the time, and my husband is really interested in the startup scene. Mahilig siya talaga with the startup tech world. Yung business na to, we also have business partners, and they were the ones who pitched it to us. And then they were saying na, do you want to open up a co-working space? So we were already thinking of having a new business at that time. So, and the capital requirement was also something that we had. And it was also within the parang passion ng husband ko. He likes both co-working spaces and coffee shops. The partnership came naturally. So that's called the Foundry. That's our workspace cafe right now.
How did you know that this was a viable business also? What were the things that you studied to say that if we place our money here, sulit naman siguro siya. How did you know it was something worth putting your money into?
So this is the one na parang may leap of faith siya. And of course, at the same time, you will always also try to study the market, kung papatok ba to. There has been a lot of learnings for us with regards to this new business at how also work intensive it is. Just like any entrepreneur, you will always learn something new with every business that you put up. So I wouldn't say that I knew everything from the start. Definitely not. But at the same time, I guess that's how entrepreneurs are.
But what made you go into it? What was your parang there's a tipping point dyan na sige, we'll push through it. Is it because na it's becoming a trend na there's a lot of people really that want co-working space, madami pa kayong competitors sa CDO, or kayo lang yung nauna? What tipped everything na sige tuloy natin to?
Gusto ng husband ko I just supported.
Okay. No. Did you look at parang numbers to say that we just need this number? I think the way to profitability there is you need to get a lot of people who will sign up and get long-term deals also. Parang at that time, did you know how to price it, how to know your market, or at least to get I guess clients to market it? Kasi this is a new concept. The thing about new concepts is how do you educate people that this is something that they also need, or this is something that will help them?
Of course, we did our projections. We also took a look at the other co-working spaces in CDO. Meron din naman kasi. So we weren't the first. But the thing is, we experienced a lot of pivots as we went along, because we then realized na mas profitable pala siya if we make it into parang a workspace cafe. Yung hindi siya not the usual co-working model wherein magbabayad ng monthly or hourly. That was how we started out. But later on, we realized pala na it became more profitable when we did an open house. So, because we tried it we just wanted to see how the market would react to it. So when we did an open house, mas lumaki yung sales namin. So, it's also important for entrepreneurs to pivot, especially in times na parang nakita mo, maybe this isn't working, or it's not giving us as much revenue as we want.
When you say open house, it means that they can just come in and use the space.
They have to order, and then you give them like only 3 hours of internet. So for them to access the internet again, they'll have to reorder. So when we did the open house, wala pa siyang minimum order. But the good thing is, yung mga clients naman they also order din naman. Hindi lang, there are some, may mga konti yung mga, yung oatmeal cookie lang talaga. Pero good thing, there's only a few of them.
Sige, sa mga mo-order ng oatmeal cookie, anong mensahe mo para sa kanila? Go!
Guys, just keep coming. It's okay. And I hope you order more. We won't discriminate.
Okay. So,
hindi kami discriminating.
When did this second business open? 2 years yata? You invited me there 2 or 3 years ago.
2018.
2018, 2 years ago. Tama. Tama, I remember it 2 years ago. For people who want to start something like this also, how long does it take before this can at least be profitable also? Or matagal siya, long game talaga yung ganitong time?
Yeah. So, maybe mga around 3 years. Oo, depende siguro how well you're able to get your market. So, 2 to 3 years,
okay,
I would say. Pero, yun siguro yung takeaway ko, because this is a traditional business. For traditional business, it really requires a lot of your time and effort. So, I realized na mas preferred ko pala yung hindi traditional na business. So, it's a good learning.
Galing. And I want to say this to a lot of people. Normally kasi pag traditional business, parang sobrang glamoroso. Parang pag-open ka ng ramen shop, lahat ng tao, wow, big time. Hindi nila alam yung tao nagbebenta sa Shopee is earning more than that person na merong traditional business. Please remember this, guys, to those that are watching. It's not about how grand your business is. Yung mga medyo grand na yan, ang laki ng capital also nun, matagal bago mabawi. Minsan, the lower your cost, no matter how simple it is, that might be actually better, because that could easily make you break even faster as well.
A lot of people will really kind of think that those traditional brick and mortar businesses parang wow, right? But it's because I have these other businesses that are not brick and mortar. But for me, wow, it's a lot easier to earn from these other businesses. mas trabahoso yung yung brick and mortar. It requires more effort.
Kaya nga, ito na kaya excited na ako kaya sobrang yaman eh. So, number 3, tech business. What is it? How did it go?
So this business started at around the same time as the foundry. So it's crazy enough to start one business. I think I'm really crazy to start two at the same time. So this started late 2018, and we're able to get our first client on January 2019. So how it started is, this one is more closer to home. So because it started from my problem as a real estate broker. So as a broker kasi, you are expected to be able to answer your clients quickly and to be able to give them the information that they need. But the thing is, with the real estate industry that we're in, there's still that parang may lag in terms of being able to get the information. So parang I thought, I think there's a way that we can improve this. I'm pretty sure that there's a way that we can make this process better and more efficient. And at the time, I was telling my husband, again, he's in the startup scene, so I felt that we could create something and we could make a solution for this. And so that's how it started. It's actually a B2B app. So our clients are the real estate developers.
Okay.
So by the way, may partners din kami dito, the tech guys, Chris and John Fiel. So hello to Chris and John. So may pa hello to Chris and John, because we owe it to them that we're able to make this product. Without them, we wouldn't be able to make it. So they're our co-founders, and so this is an app for real estate developers that will help them in process automation, and it also utilizes artificial intelligence so that they are able to give their data to their sellers 24/7. So kahit walang opisina, kahit walang tao, kahit it's holiday, their sellers will be able to be equipped with the right information at the time that they need it. We were able to create an MVP fairly quickly because we conceptualized the idea beforehand, but when we approached our tech guys, they were able to create just an MVP within 2 months. So the thing with startups, so this is na startup advice na, when you want to create a product, don't wait for it to be perfect. Just let it be as functional as it can be, as skeletal as it can be. Show it to the client. If they feel that there's a need for it, then they will subscribe. So that's what happened to us. So that's the reason why hindi malaki yung capital na nilabas namin, because with the MVP pa lang, we were already able to book our first client. So now we have gone so far from the MVP that we had before, because when we started, wala pa kaming app. We were just integrated in Facebook. So now we have an app na, diba? So you improve as you go along. That's for startups.
Another question there is, how long does it take from here before it becomes profitable naman for people who want to go into the app development business?
That highly depends on the kind of startup that you're making. So for us naman, we are B2B and we are charging subscription. We are actually able to pay off our OPEX just based on our subscriptions that we are getting. And the thing is, wala kaming malaking capital na binigay. But of course, the goal for your startup is to always expand and grow bigger. So that's why you need yung mga venture capital or investors who will support your idea and make it bigger than what it is now.
I like what you said, you were able to grow it just by your own money lang, and that's what people also need to hear, no? A lot of people kasi to be honest, I get a lot of pitches also, and one of the things that I look for is they just don't want to grow. I want companies that their goal is to be profitable first, not just grow yung number of users, they have to really make the business run very, very well and not just hit key metrics also in the app or whatever business that they're doing. Anyways, here's a question for people who are starting up, no? You had the business na co-working space, and then you have this. nung start, sinisweldoan yung sarili nyo or suggestion mo sa kanila, wag muna sila magsweldo? How does it go?
Wag muna. So especially with startups, I think that's common naman. That startup founders, hindi talaga yan nagsisweldo in the first year. But of course, what you'll try to do is you will make your startup as profitable as possible, that it is able to pay for you din naman. Because it also doesn't make sense that you will continue to work for the business and you don't get a salary. So, ito din yung mga pinag-usapan din namin with potential investors when we told them that one of the reasons why we also want to get investments is of course we are very honest and open with them, that we tell them that one of the purpose for this is of course salaries ng mga founders, and then they say tama naman, you should do that. So it validates that na sometimes kasi people romanticize din the thought of hindi ako nagsisweldo, pero you have to eventually. Yeah.
Okay, pero pag
it prevents burnout.
When you get investors already, do you dictate the salary that you want, or they have to say, oh, hindi, ito lang yung salary niyo para we invest in you? Parang kasi I've seen people na, sobrang laki ng salary, as in super laki ng salary, yung buong rineraise nila para may salary sa kanila, ganun. How do you strike a balance with that? And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are just starting out that might learn from your advice also.
Siguro this one is a tip for the investors. The tip for the investors is really get to know the people who are running the startup. Like find out what their values are. Find out how they are in their personal life. Kasi you wouldn't want na nag-i-invest ka ng startup na to tapos biglang the next day bumili na ng Jaguar yan. Diba? So it's good to get to know the people that you are investing in. And sa mga startups din, don't waste the investors' money with such a huge salary. Grow your business first. Use it for your business. Because in the end, kung lalaki yung business mo, it will come back to you like a whole lot more.
It's not just that. I've seen so many people na since hindi nila pera, hindi sila ganun ka-prudent. I'll give you an example. Instead of pwede na itong ganitong printer lang, bibili ng mas mahal na printer, since office-related expense naman talaga siya. But because it's not their money, it's parang they're not so conscious of the expense. Pwedeng ganitong monitor lang para sa mga staff na computer. Pero since Apple na lahat pili natin, it's not our money naman, ganun. So I think there has to be a sweet spot also na people have to be prudent with the way they spend the money also. The Philippines is not doing so well since lockdown siya. Are you okay? Kinakabahan ka? Do you have cash enough that will allow you to stay afloat also?
Of course, there is a certain level of anxiety, but I will always put it back to God once again. Because I think no matter how cushy your life is, there's still a lot of things to worry about. And I guess that's where my conviction of how your faith in the Lord will really take you to places. And that's peace of mind, a lot of peace of mind.
Tips more for people who want to be profitable entrepreneurs. I guess from the things that you've learned, from your experience, or mga pagkakamali mo rin dati.
One is to learn. So I did start with reading books. So it's not expensive to learn. There's a lot of resources online. There's a lot of books to read. You can just start with that just to open up your mindset. And then second is to find good mentors. So when I started with the real estate firm namin, wala akong mentor. So I would say that the learning curve was quite long. So I've come to realize that. So that's why now in our startup in Brookie, we have a lot of mentors. We've gotten into the Idea Space program. There's a lot of awesome mentors there. We also have some great mentors as well from the final pitch. So just before we had this call, I was talking to two of my real estate mentors. I-mention ko sila talaga, Sir Cesar Uy and Mr. Carson Choa of Uy Community Developers. Yeah, kasi we were talking about real estate trends din. So it helped also, shape the things that I was talking about in the previous video. And the last is to just take that leap of faith. may factor talagang ganun, to be a yes person. And the reason why I would say that is because when I was younger, when I just started in the real estate industry, wala akong alam. Wala akong alam. And I didn't even come from Cagayan. I came from Iligan City, but I was selling selling properties in CDO. And at that time, post lang ako ng post. At kung may buyer na who would call and they would say, oh, malapit ba to sa Divisoria? I'd be like, hindi ko pa alam. But you just need to make that effort, keep going. Kahit hindi pa 100% in your mind, hindi pa formulated yung plan totally, be a yes person and opportunities will open up for you. But of course, hindi naman reckless na yes person.
This video will be in YouTube. So, para babalikan natin siya a few years after this, do you have a target? When do you want to get 1 billion pesos?
Sige, let's say 10 years.
Okay. April 2030, we will go back to this video. Stefanie Uy, 1 billion pesos. Sana hindi mo makakalimutan nun pag sobrang yaman mo na. Ngayon, sobrang yaman mo na eh. So, by that time, mas mayaman ka pa. So, baka makalimutan mo na ako. But, yun, thank you so much also for sharing your story. Thank you that a lot of people who are on lockdown will get to consume this and they get to also learn from your story. From someone who lost a lot during the 1997 Asian financial crisis to having 3 businesses, 1 tech startup, 1 co-working / cafe, and then number 3, property development, a property real estate business as well. So, galing. From someone pa who graduated far from what she's doing right now, diba? So, yun. Yeah. This just shows you also that never let what people think about you define who you are. It has to be you who should define the path that you should take as well. Because if you always listen to everyone out there, then you will get nowhere. You have to be real to what's inside of you. So if that's for you, I hope you got something from her story. And yun, Stefanie Uy, I hope this video helps you guys. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys. And God bless you all.